Let's go ahead and stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning, everyone. I need a motion this morning to approve our agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And also, we have minutes from February 9th, and there was 2 meetings that day. Do I have a motion to approve minutes?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. General public concerns, anybody this morning? Seeing none? Let's go down and approve the claims first, so they can start on those.
Okay, I gotta make a motion to approve claims of $74,047.95 and drainage of $7,580.20.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. All right. Super. Thanks, Cardi. Todd, do you wanna go ahead and go over your, yeah, go ahead, because I don't think yours will take too long. Explain to the board what's going on here.
The Conservation Board met a week ago today. Went over our personnel a little bit with the recent retirement of Jeannie Bogus. They felt like it was a good time to look at the operations supervisor position as well as the maintenance tech position. They wanted to, salary-wise, maybe have their salaries better reflect the responsibilities that go with each position. I know the maintenance tech position had been set at $42,263. The operations supervisor position had been at $44,348. The conservation board felt like taking away $2,000 from the maintenance tech position and adding that to the supervisor position would be more fair or equitable distribution as far as salary goes.
For responsibilities.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Bottom line, salary, what you're paying out stays the same, it's just been adjusted a little bit. I guess the other thing they did was moved to hire David Erdman as the new maintenance technician. He's worked for me 3 summers, graduated from Iowa State with a degree in fish and wildlife biology last May of 2014. Real good worker, good guy, so we're fortunate to be able to offer him that position.
So he started with full insurance this last month, or is he on yet?
The hiring would be effective the 18th.
Of this?
Of February.
February?
Yes.
Okay.
Pending your approval.
And then his salary rate, I think you talked to me a little bit, was similar to what the, secondary road workers would be starting at roughly.
He would make $40,263, which is $19.35 an hour.
Okay.
I believe like a secondary road's full-time is $20.56 an hour after the probationary period.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
And then I asked you about other summer help, and you said you maybe some part-time help possibly.
He's looking probably at hiring one additional, like a seasonal part-time.
Mowing mainly,
Yes,
just that.
a lot of mowing and trimming, yes.
Okay.
So,
You guys have any questions for Todd? Makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
So you're hiring 2 different people then?
No.
What about the current, just the one?
one, yep. We'll be advertising in about a month more to, it's probably gonna be, like a college-age, individual, to fill that seasonal part-time position.
Okay.
All right, so the first motion would be, go ahead, Rick.
I'd make a motion for the, hire the maintenance technician, David Erdman. the salary of $40,263, effective February 18th.
2015. Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that. Now, is this one taking Jeannie's place, or?
He would be filling Jeannie's position,
So
yes.
it's not a new position, we're just
No.
replacing.
Nope.
That is a press to
Yep,
understand that.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, and then the other one.
I'll make a motion to increase the operations supervisor's salary by decreasing the technician's salary, 2,000, and moving it to the operation supervisor's salary, effective, February 18th.
Okay, I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Todd.
Thanks very much.
Get back to work. See ya. All right, Kevin, you wanna come up?
Don't run away, Jerry. Not gonna be that scary yet.
We want them to be able to pay bills. We've got everybody working hard today, don't we?
Yeah.
We do. Here you go, Rick.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'm here with Pastor Gene Broughton from Our Savior's Lutheran and the Humboldt County Ministerial Association. We're here representing Nielsen Heartland. We have basically a multi-layered request. Naturally, we'd like to have your financial support. We'd also like to have, physical support in packaging meals during our packaging event on the 21st of March. And we'd also like to, see if there's any way possible we could go ahead and get put into the budget each and every year on an annual basis to make a request that way. Meals from the Heartland is a organization that deals with feeding the hungry in not only America, but also around the world. We provide boxes of meals, not only for the Humboldt County Food Pantry, neighboring counties' food pantries around our state, and also around the world. We had the opportunity, Janelle Rowe from our congregation went to Africa last year and had a first-hand experience seeing how this program works. They were at an orphanage in Africa that had run out of food. I mean, they had no food to feed all the kids in the orphanage. They knew a school about 25, 30 miles away that had received meals from the Heartland Meals. They were able to get like an old pickup truck, went to the school, were able to get like 20 or 30 boxes of meals from the Heartland Meals, take it back to the orphanage, and that's what provided the meals for that orphanage for the next probably month and a half. So we not only have an effect worldwide, but the thing I guess that really sticks in my mind the most was 2 years ago we started involving the middle school students from Humboldt, and they come up and they do a fantastic job of packaging meals. I mean, they have a fun time doing it, and we had a chance to just talk to some different kids. And we said, well, why do you want to take an hour of your day, not only just to get out of school, but why do you want to come over here and just and do this? And I'll never forget a 7th grade student said, he says, these meals really aren't that bad. I've had them before, and Mom does a good job of fixing them up. So it does affect locally also. I mean, to me, that's the biggest effect that we have, is locally. Box of meals costs $43.20. We'd like to ask the supervisors if you could, from the generosity of your hearts, if you could go ahead and provide us with $1,000 of money to help, provide meals. The last 2 years, if I remember correctly, we have donated 40 boxes of meals to the Humboldt County Food Pantry. Before that, we donated 30 boxes. We basically just find out what they need, and we make sure that they are covered that way. And it's a situation where if we need to, we can go ahead and find additional places for storage if they run out of storage in their at the food pantry itself. So I know from working at the food pantry, I know anytime somebody comes through, they always get, X number of bags of meals from the Heartland that goes into their request and stuff. So we'd like to ask if we could, for $1,000 of financial support. We'd also like to ask, if at all possible, if you could go ahead and put together a team of 10 people. Yourselves, wives, and you could probably talk to the auditor's office and get some people procured out of there, I would think. Whether it be courthouse employees, like I said, yourselves, your wives, grandkids, kids, to come up and work a shift is truly it'll change your perspective on a lot of things. You'll see people that, you wouldn't think would normally get along doing things, get along just like a sewing machine. It's a very, very amazing event. Our goal this year is to package 160,000 meals. If we do this, that will put us at or over 500,000 meals in the 5 years we've done this. Dave Bradley, who is originally from Rutland, Iowa, is the head of Meals from the Heartland in the state of Iowa, has made the statement point blank. The Humboldt packaging event is the largest packaging event outside of Des Moines. I mean, Des Moines has an event basically every week, whether it be at the huge one at Hy-Vee Hall. Meals from the Heartland has an actual building now you can go to, and if you just want to go over your lunch hour and package, you can. But Humboldt County is the model for the rest of the state. If some other community wants to take and put it together and try and do the event, Dave's response is, contact these people in Humboldt County. They'll tell you how to do it correctly, how to get it done the right way. So we'd like to have the supervisors support on this, both financially and manpower-wise. And like I said, if possible, we'd like to get put into the budget to where we can have this be an annual request. Do you have any questions?
No, I spent some time up there, and it is a smooth operation. It's amazing how fast stuff comes out of there. It keeps people loading. That's what I was doing, I was loading the truck, and
You had a fun job.
Yeah.
That's our job, is if you're loading the truck, that's our job, is to make sure that you don't have a chance to
sit down.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive how it works, and like you say, it's kind of a fun day when they get together and do
It
that.
truly, and if you get a chance, the really fun days, the day before, when the middle school kids are up there.
Oh, yeah.
It is amazing what they do. You'd think, here, you talk to teachers, they say, how do you get these kids to do this? Because we can't even do anything in class. And they just take to it and just fly. We have to throttle them back, so we have something.
It's a competition.
They do.
Yeah.
Now, I was unfamiliar that a certain amount of them went to the food pantry, which would be local. Our biggest concern would probably be not
Correct,
local.
yeah. Well,
And that's one item I didn't know about that. I mean, I donated last year for a station. It was kind of fun because, I couldn't be there, but, it was amazing how many meals they turned out last year.
Well, to work it kind of backwards, we affect the world on the aspect where a lot of our meals go to schools, and so the parent, like schools that we'll say like in Haiti, Africa, different underdeveloped countries. And the reason they go to schools is because that way the parents will send their kids to school because that might be the only meal they get that day.
Sure.
And so they combine with the aspect where they get the kids to come for a meal, then they also get a chance to educate them. So that's why we work worldwide. We also work, nationwide. A lot of our meals also go to places like in Appalachia, things like, areas like this. But it's also local. I mean, it's not just everything. This is not a program where the dollars you send in all fly out the window and go someplace else. There is an awful lot of good that happens locally that way. Like I said, when you have a 7th grade student tell you, these really aren't that bad, and it really kind of hits home. Because you always think of, well, we aren't that, our need isn't that great for a food pantry until you hear from people who have used these meals. And when you work a day at the food pantry and see the number of people that come through there, and these meals go in their request that way, each and every person that goes through. So it does an awful lot of good in Humboldt County.
Okay. And you got a couple extra copies of that?
Yeah, we'd have to present it to the other 2 board members since they're
Well, I
gone.
can stop and talk to them personally if you want me to.
Well, if you run into them, if you run into it.
We just need one more. Put that in.
Now, Peggy, if we were wanting to have a sign up for that, is that something we could do for this? I mean, we've done that before, haven't we, had sign-ups for different things? We could probably put it in a couple of the different offices, and, recorders and assessor and the treasurers maybe.
One thing.
That way we could see.
One thing on the sign-up, I'll be very honest, let us know early, because we usually end up having more people volunteering to work than we have time slots. So
You need to know.
It's not a situation where we have to know right now the second, but I wouldn't wait until the week of the event, because we know we'll have all of our slots will be
So
filled.
we could have a cutoff like the 10th of March or something, or would that work? That'd be a little better, or sooner than that?
That'd be fine, or like I said, today's the 23rd, I think, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's about a month away.
Yeah, if we could know by the 9th. No, that's February, what's March gonna be?
It's gonna be the same days.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you just
Yeah, we,
translate it.
if we knew by the 9th of March on our Monday meeting, then we could let you know,
Okay.
if there's interest. So,
Well, we'll take your requests into consideration and discuss with our full board.
That'd be great.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Gary.
your time.
all right, thank you. Okay. How about third item down below, approval for the filing of publication of the calendar year 2014 salary report. Peggy, you wanna go over that?
We're required by Iowa code once a year to publish, the salaries of everyone who works for the county. It can either be done at budget time, or it can be done at the end of the calendar year, so we usually put it kinda in between.
Perfect. Yep, we just do that every year.
I've
Okay.
got it all ready for you, and
Yep, I see it, ours.
All right, I'll make a motion for the filing and publication of the calendar's year 2014 salary report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And then we have a joint cooperation agreement with Fort Dodge Housing. You wanna maybe run over that?
yeah, there was a letter we received from Fort Dodge Housing saying, since Myra was no longer Mid-Iowa Regional Housing Authority, was no longer an agency, the Fort Dodge Housing took over the duties. And we had an agreement with Myra for housing assistance, and now Fort Dodge Housing is asking us to sign that with them. They call it a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of certain joint exercise of powers agreement for the purpose of creating a regional housing authority.
Okay. Rick was familiar with this a little bit, so I asked him
Everything's
about
pretty
it.
much staying the same, just the change of the name,
Yeah,
and a little other office location too.
I'll make a motion to authorize the chairman to sign a joint cooperation agreement with Fort Dodge Housing.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Can I sign that as vice chairman then, or do you? Okay.
Everything's on the floor here. On the back side of here.
Okay, just down here today.
Mhm.
And then Peggy, we can go ahead and, talk about setting date and time for the public hearing of our county budget.
Okay, I got all the county budget all put together and on the state forms, I got everything all fixed up, so we're ready to go. I would suggest March 9th at 8:45. That works for you guys?
That's what we were hoping to do, is get it out earlier.
Yeah, we were able to do it earlier this year.
March 9th, 8:45, okay. You guys okay with that?
Yep, should be good.
All right.
Let's see, you need a motion
Yep.
on that?
Yes.
Okay, I will make that motion, set the date and time for public hearing on the fiscal year 15-16 county budget.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
March 9th, yeah. 8:45.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. And then it's not quite 9. One more item, we've got a wine beer permit for Western Edge.
All the paperwork came through, everything appears to be in order. They've had a wine permit with us for a few years, so just a renewal.
I'll make a motion to approve the wine and beer permit for Western Edge.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Let me just have you sign somewhere.
Okay.
Just so you know there's a-
And then committee reports, if we want to do them quick, I guess we got 10 minutes.
Okay, well, calendar here a little bit. I had my, UDMO meeting at the supervisor's room on on Wednesday. And, he had quite a list of things that, was like a quarterly report, which, involves, from November to January, and it's always amazes me how much they do service in our county, all the way from rehabbing homes to, your coats for kids and quilts and gasoline vouchers and water vouchers for households that had their water turned off. I think last year, they, put an average of 14,000 into 8 homes in Humboldt. Anywhere from new furnaces to new windows to doors, insulation, trying to cut future costs for these people who are using these programs. And they do run a pretty tight ship, because she, has a list of how many people applied for things, how many were denied and why they were denied, and so they're very careful on their money they do, give out to these individuals. I think Mary does an excellent job for us there. And it has helped with the price of LP being a lot cheaper for their, fuel this year for the LIHEAP program. She says it's running out now though, but hopefully winter's running out here shortly too, so, but, everything was going pretty good for them, so, that's about it.
Is that it?
Yep, that was it for me.
Okay, the 10th, we had a conference board meeting, we haven't finalized nothing yet until our next, meeting, but, let's see, and then that was the 10th, the 12th, they had county a day in Ankeny. They went over several different items, like courthouse security, and governor got up and gave a talk, and he was wanting to lower the property tax by 5% again. So after the meeting, when he come down, I walked over and shook his hand, and I said, "You're gonna give us a 5% reduction in property tax, and then the state raises the valuation, so where's your tax break?"
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I ain't got no control over that." I don't know.
In and out deal.
Then the 13th, we met with Crime Brink here, and that was on the gas tax mainly. That was the main thing, but, Friday had Central Iowa Juvenile Detention in Eldora, and we got 40 approved beds, and we had them all filled, and still had to kick out some of ours to a different, it cost us $3,500 just to house juveniles in a different facility, because the state won't allow it. We got 20 more beds to fill, and
The beds are sitting there empty, aren't they?
Yeah.
They just won't let you use them.
They won't let us, fill them. Emmett County joined our facility, so we got another county added to it too, so that'll just be that much more business. We expect to have we just built that new addition on there. It was over $2 million. We figure we'll have that paid off by, March 16th? By March in 2016, yeah. We're down less than $1 million right now. We already paid that much of it off, so. Yeah, I guess that was all I had.
I think I just had a meeting on the 13th with our representative, and then, I wasn't able to go down to the Wellmark Gift Trust. Did you have anything you want to talk about yet, or you want to wait till next week? Is she coming up? Denise is coming up next week.
She's coming up, yep.
So we probably can review things there, but we can talk to you later, see if there's anything you want to add to that, so. Okay. With that, we have someone here to see us this morning. Amanda, you want to come on up and speak to us a little bit about the judicial court district?
Sure, for everyone, it's like one. My name is Amanda Milligan, I'm the district director for the Second Judicial District Department of Correctional Services. We do adult probation and parole, and Humboldt County is one of the counties that we cover. I need to apologize for my voice, I must have picked up a bug over the weekend and now it's settled in my vocal cords, so,
Everybody's getting it.
if it starts to fade, I'll cut my talk a little short. But, as I said, we are adult probation and parole, so we have people both, after they've been sentenced by the court, before they've ever gone to any kind of correctional facility, and then we also catch people on the back end after they've gone away to one of our institutions and are out on community supervision. I'd like to just highlight a few of the numbers on the attached brochure, because they kind of tell about who we are and what we do. We are mostly field services. A lot of people, when they think of us, they think of our residential facilities or halfway houses, but the majority of our population is actually folks that live and work in our communities. These are our neighbors, so that's important to think about. They're working just like we are, paying taxes, trying to do the right thing, usually. Our residential facilities are a part of that. We have 4 of them. The one that serves Humboldt County is up in Fort Dodge. We also have a facility in Mason City, Marshalltown, and Ames. So we operate 4 of them. The costs are always something that's interesting to people. We are funded by the state primarily, but we do rely very heavily on local funds also that we collect through different supervision fees that we're able to charge. That's a very important part of our budget, that we do collect those from people. The cost, the bottom line here is that community supervision is a good deal for our communities. It's about $5 a day for probation and parole. Our residential facilities are about $80 a day. Intensive supervision, which is for our higher risk folks, both sex offender and non-sex offender, $6.07 a day for our intensive supervision, and $8.31 for our sex offender program. And there is quite a significant treatment component with that particular program, which is why the costs are a little bit higher. But a prison bed is in general about $90 a day. So even though the residential facility, you might look at that and think, well, that's pretty close. Keep in mind, these people are working, paying taxes, versus just being in a facility, not doing any of those things. We have very good recidivism rates. Nationally, if you're aware, recidivism rates in other states hover around the 60 to 70% mark, which is pretty bad. But here in Iowa, we have excellent recidivism rates. For probationers, it's just under 18%, which what that means is that if we can keep people from ever going to prison in the first place, they have better outcomes. So that's what we work really hard to do. For parolees, those that are coming out of an institution, just under 31% is their recidivism rate. And district-wide, it's just under 20, which that has a lot to do with the fact that we do serve so many probationers. They're just a larger chunk of our population. You can see that in the middle column, kind of breaks down right here who we serve. Probationers, you can see, are just over 65%. Our parolees are just over 14%. And then we have several other supervision statuses that we serve. District-wide, in a fiscal year, we serve just over 6,600 Iowans. So it's a huge number. If you think about sort of the population of our 22 counties, there's a lot of folks that receive services from our agency. The next boxes there just sort of break down what level of supervision. The intensive are for more risky people that might be more likely to reoffend, and an administrative at the other end of the spectrum is for our lower risk, often first-time offenders that receive lower level of services. What we know is it's really important that we match the services we provide to the person's risk. If we don't match those things, then one, it's a waste of resources, which is problematic, but two, if you invest too much in the lower risk individuals, it can actually make them worse. We need to keep them tied to all those things that make them lower risk and not intervene in their lives any more than we need to. Outcomes are at the very bottom there. Successful closures are about a little over 70%, which is very good. Unsuccessful is around 20. Administrative and intermediate sanctions are less. Administrative usually means they moved or just left our area for some reason. The population we serve is almost a quarter female. That surprises people. A lot of times people think of, the younger male that's on supervision, but We do serve a quarter of our female population, and the age distribution is also interesting. We really serve the whole lifespan. A big chunk of our population is actually 45 and older, so, interesting. And then you can see in the last box there, just the various types of criminal offenders that we work with. The very back of your brochure is just how to get a hold of us. If you don't have questions today, but you have some when you're in your car on the way home, that's how we get a hold of us. I'm at the top. My name's Amanda. I'm the director. If you ever need anything locally, I am local. I'm actually housed at a Fort Dodge. But John Grotlution is our area office supervisor, and Adam Yetmar is our residential manager that covers this area. So what questions can I answer about the services we provide or our agency?
Well, I think it appears to be a good program. I mean, if you can keep people out of prison and work with them, that's sure cost savings you can see.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them need direction, and that's probably key to their success, isn't it? It's not just doing it on their own, they need some outside direction.
It's that accountability, and then also just the treatment component, working with the parole or probation officer, absolutely.
Just kinda surprised at the age, it doesn't vary a whole lot percentage-wise.
No.
No, it doesn't.
That was really surprising.
Just between the ages of 21 and 35, you're kind of screwed at that rate.
Yeah.
It's probably somebody over 45 too.
Yeah.
Of course, that's wide range, but...
Take a 10-year break.
Yeah.
45 plus, your midlife crisis, right?
Yeah.
And even the last percentages, you know, the breakdown on the property, drug, and public order, and disorder. I mean, it's pretty well spread out. It isn't just a drug problem. There's a lot of
No,
different
that's
issues.
kinda...
I mean, that probably was more surprising.
Well, what does the public order fall under?
Those would be things like OWI, things like that,
Okay.
disorderly conduct.
Well, I'm glad you came up and explained your services to us,
Absolutely.
Corinne. Gives us an
Thank you
idea
for
what's going on.
Yeah,
You
thank
bet.
you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Well, Peggy, was there any other items, I guess, that... going on? I can't think of anything either. Must be moving us along too fast.
You're just darn good at it, Jerry.
Yeah, apparently. Paul isn't out there by chance. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's just take a 10-minute recess, and if Paul's not out there, I guess.
Okay.
Then kind of regroup a little bit.
Yep.
No, I can use some coffee.
You done?
Another thing that could help our good So, with that, we'll go ahead and come back in session. Good morning. Morning. We got a couple orders on the agenda this morning. The first one is approve application for construction on county right-of-way from Midland Power Cooperative to relocate overhead power lines near 2130 Penn Avenue. That's over by the drag strip, and it's all in conjunction with Mid-American Energy Company's new towers in there. So they're gonna move the other side? They're gonna do the weave, add one pole and end up going across the road and then weaving back to the west to get around the big tower. That's how they're gonna... So we'll add one line across the road. There's always already the one service going to the east side of the road there, but, yeah, there's, we'll see another one coming for, working the right-of-way for a half mile south here, at the corner of Highway 3 and 10, because they moved to the other side of the road there, and that's where the REC line is. So the REC line gets automatically moved.
Oh, okay.
I see they moved across the road there when they jumped.
So, this is just to add one post and relocate their lines. They're using existing lines. They add the one new pole. I don't know what I gave you for sure. It's kinda confusing, but they got a sketch. I kinda sketched on here what's going on. Their new pole is south of the big tower they're putting in, and they're going back and forth doing the weave.
All right.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the application for construction